One of the most useful resources a person has in detecting the value of somebody's words is their eyes. Eyes are the window into a person's soul. When we are seeking to analyze a person's face, it is important to calibrate the face first to see what their normal face looks like. This task is difficult to do with Donald Trump because he lied so much on the campaign trail. It was difficult to ascertain what was normal. However, in this video, I have collected clips of Truthful Trump using his eyes as a benchmark. I call this video Almost Truthful Trump because I add a couple of clips which contain interesting lies. What follows is a basic introduction into the role of eyes in understanding what a person means when they speak. We shall look at a few clips of a video made by Terry Elston. He has an interesting set of videos around this subject on his YouTube account. If we look at this photo, you can get the idea in regards to the value of eyes in interpretation. This model is in the context of a right-handed person. The eyes would react in a mirror image along the vertical axis with a left-handed person. So when the eyes go to the viewer's top right, the person is accessing their mind to recall something that they actually saw. If the person looks to the viewer's right, they are remembering something that they actually heard. If they look to the bottom right, they are listening to their own words in their mind. If their eyes go to the viewer's bottom left, they are feeling something, for example, touching their skin. If the person looks left, they are imagining a sound that they have not heard. If they are looking to the top left, they are imagining something that they have not seen. Let's watch this in action. You might want to pause the video occasionally and read notes that I have added.
So just let me know, what's the colour of your front door?
Brown.
Okay, good. So there we are. And what would it look like if it's pink with yellow stripes on it? And there we are. Very nice. What is your telephone number as you remember it now in your mind? Just remember your telephone number in your mind. Now remember it backwards. And now remember it backwards. When you talk to yourself, that's right. When you talk to yourself, where does the sound come from? That's right. Okay, good. Very, very good. So what do you say to yourself? Claire, what do you say to yourself when things go wrong? What do you say to... That's right, very good. Okay, that's better. Okay, very, very good. Excellent. Thank you for that. Okay, now, and what would a chainsaw sound like on a corrugated iron shed? A chainsaw on a corrugated iron shed, what would that sound like? So obviously somebody must have heard this one before. Ooh, scary. Uh-huh. So you hang around those kind of people, do you? Okay. Get in touch with what it feels like to put on wet socks. Just get in touch with what it feels like to put on wet socks. That's right. Mm-hmm. Very good. And what is it like to feel wool next to your skin? You know that feeling of wool right next to your skin? That's right. Very, very good.
So now we can see the usefulness of this in understanding the value of people's words. Looking to the viewer's right suggests that the person is accessing their memory of events that actually happened, while looking to the left indicates that the person is making something up. That does not mean that they are always lying. It is only the context that would indicate whether the person is lying or not. Also, just because a person looked right does not mean that what a person says is objective truth. Rather, it means that they believe that it is true. So what follows is a collection of examples of Donald Trump telling the truth.
So, I was very disappointed in Mitt Romney. He choked. The problem with the computer age is I don't think you have secrecy anymore. President Obama has been terrific. He's been, very respectful of the process and everything else. So I saw that.
What do you dream about most frequently?
I have good dreams, just having a good life. Good family, good life. So important.
Your older brother, Fred Jr., was an alcoholic and died at a relatively young age. When I say his name, what does that bring up for you?
Well, he was great. He was the most handsome person. He was a really smart guy, really, really smart guy. He had everything. But at a certain age, he started drinking a little bit, a little more, and ultimately it was a big problem. And he'd say, don't ever, ever drink, and don't ever. And I'll tell you what, I've never had a glass of alcohol.
Here we see how Mr. Trump introduces what is probably a lie into the conversation, declaring that he's never drunk alcohol. His face shows duping delight, which will be explained later, and his shoulder shrug suggests that he has no confidence in his own words. You can also observe that he formulates the sentence as if it's a question. I've never had a glass of alcohol, which is a weird way to state that you've never drunk alcohol.
You've been divorced twice.
Yes.
Did you learn something about relationships, about love, about yourself?
Well, you have to put more into it. I put so much into my business that I didn't put enough into the relationship. And I see that, and I've learned that. I mean, I have learned that. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about that because that's the way you are. I mean, if somebody told you that you have to ease up, you can only work half the number of hours that you're working, I don't know if you'd be able to do that. But Hillary would do a poor job as president. If you look at the job she's done for our country, if you look at the Middle East and the disaster that is, if you look at New York State, where she was a senator and she was going to bring jobs back to upstate New York, take a look at what happened. It was a disaster. We have to use our head. We need brilliant leadership. We can make America great again. There's tremendous potential in this country, and my whole concept is make America great again. We can do it. Thank you.
So you'd leave open the possibility of spying on anybody, even allies?
I would say that I would leave open possibilities of doing whatever it takes to make our country very, very strong and to make our country great again. But no, I would be a much different person, I think, as president, but I would be very enthusiastic, like I am right now, toward the country.
Mr. President, I know you're only 5 days in. Has it changed you?
I don't want to change too much.
So here we are, 1 week into Trump's presidency, and the realization is beginning to dawn. The difference between candidate Trump and President Trump is that now we have to live in his crazy reality.
But no, I would be a much different person, I think, as president. When I watch President Obama say global warming is our biggest problem, it's just so sad to watch. And he doesn't want to use the words radical Islam. He doesn't want to use anything having to do with radical and Islam. So until he's willing to admit the problem, how can you not at least talk about the problem? And one of the things I've done is I brought the problem out.
You will observe a part in the video where I mentioned that Mr. Trump is trying to connect Part A to Part B. One regular feature manifested in his eyes is the attempt to connect a previous sentence to the next. What generally happens is that the interviewer asks him a question, but he wants to talk about his own subjects, so his mind goes into overdrive to turn the topic into his favorite areas. While this happens, his eyes go to the viewer's left. He's not lying, he's imagining. I guess he's imagining a future where he gets to answer his own questions. Edward Snowden is a former contractor for the CIA who worked in information technology. He leaked a significant quantity of classified material, then fled to Russia. The following clip is interesting and speaks about this event.
And our country is not a strong country like it was. And we deal with traitors a lot differently. Now we deal with traitors where sometimes a traitor becomes a hero. I say he's a traitor. He's made our life extremely difficult in terms of our relationships with other countries.
The evidence suggests that Donald Trump does not believe that Edward Snowden is a traitor. We shall look at another clip on this matter in another video. In recent history, Donald Trump has had problems with the CIA, and from his perspective, he appears to believe that the CIA is an organization run by the liberal elite and wanted Clinton in power. Therefore, Edward Snowden is actually a hero to him.